back, folks. This is your old pal Hondo doing another fishing reel comparison, and maybe this might help you on a first-time purchase on a new Spincast reel. If you're not in the market for a bait caster and you're like me, I hate bait casters. So if you're in the market for a good Spincast fishing reel over a spinning reel or a bait caster, maybe this video might help you out in choosing the right type of spin casting reel for the situation that you're looking for it. Now we have 3 examples of spin casting reels. We're just using the Zebco 33 as an example. This is the newer 2020 Authentic. I've had this one for a few months now, and I like it. I think it's a really good reel. It's really fast. I mean, it's for a 1 ball bearing reel, it is fast. It's got a bigger gear wheel than the last gen models. Last gen models were 3:8:1. This one's 4:1:1 gear ratio. And has 2 pickup pins, straight line drag, interlocking disc drag, bait alerts, and 1 ball bearing. And the handle crank on this one, on the newer generation reels, is really nice. It has oversized knobs, has a lot of texture on them, love them. PVC and rubberized, very nice. The next reel we're going to be talking about is the KastKing BRUTUS. Very good entry-level reel for, and I think KastKing really made a really good spin casting reel with this. I think it's really nice. Like I said, the Zebco 33 has steel covers. This one has an aluminum cover right here with a honeycomb design, straight line drag, just like the Zebco. 2 pickup pins. They're steel instead of being ceramic like the Zebco pickup pins. 2 clutch ball bearing system. Over the Zebco has basically a quick set anti-reverse, which is just a little paw mechanism, like a metal paw mechanism that rides on the back of the wheel gear that locks it in place, so it stops the reel like this. And then it has a bait runner on the back, which in this design here is better than this one. This one is actually the newer version of the Zebco 33 2020 version. It's far better than the gear ratio that's coming out of this reel. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's way smoother than the BRUTUS, but the BRUTUS has more ball bearings in it. The BRUTUS has more ball bearings in it, and it's a really good reel. Now, one side downside, a couple downsides about the BRUTUS I do not like right off the bat is this honeycomb design on it. It doesn't work good for me, and it has this irritating plastic liner that's, I guess, that covers the holes, and I guess they do that to reduce the weight. But like, whenever I've heard rumors about this reel, I hadn't had that problem yet, but this little plastic liner in here, I guess it protects it from getting dirt in there. But they should have, if I was you, KastKing, I would go back to the drawing board and just make a solid metal spool protector cover. I think that would be a lot better than this stupid honeycomb design, because these little plastic, sometimes I have that issue, this plastic liner coming off whenever you pull this off on top of the reel, which impedes the casting of this reel sometimes, and it'll choke the reel up. And that's one downside about this reel I do not like. And the next downside about this reel, which is like I have a downside with this reel too, for having a graphite body. That's one downside about both of these, the Zebco 33 and the KastKing BRUTUS 30, is that it has a graphite body. Eventually, pulling it out of a reel seat, the foot of the reel will wear out and break off, and I've had that problem with all graphite reels, including Zebco's. I do like the fact that it's ambidextrous. It has an ambidextrous handle that goes from right to left, but unlike the Zebco has like a metal screw, this one has a plastic knob that you could, for ease of use, I guess, to unscrew it and then screw it back in. But I could see that being a problem down the road, being plastic. That would break off, and then you're going to have to order another part from KastKing for that. I don't know why they just didn't stick with a solid metal screw. I guess they do that for cost and ease of use. It has 2 ball bearings in the handle crank as well. And another thing I do not like about this reel is the handle crank. The handle crank is very reminiscent to the Zebco 33s of the last gen models, the K models, which I cannot stand the handles on those, and because they're flat and they don't really have a lot of texture to them. You know, I don't like that kind of handle. I like the newer generation of handles from Zebco, really nice. They did it really good with the handle on that generation. On the newer generations of Zebcos, these type of handle cranks I do not like. Sometimes they'll slip whenever I'm reeling, and my handles slip, and I'll have to grab the reel again. It's a pain in the butt with this one, and it's like that with the older gen Zebcos too. But it is 5-in-1 ball bearings, so it's got 2 ball bearings in the handle crank here, and it's the 4:0:1 gear ratio is a lot slower than the 4:7:1, the 4:1:1 gear ratio in this one. And this one is 4:7:1 gear ratio, which is the Zebco 33 Platinum. I see a lot of I've seen a few of the reviews that KastKing has done with this, and they compare it to the base model in design. I think even the base model, if you put 4 ball bearings in this, Super Tune I got Super Tune videos where you could put ball bearings in this. I think the base model of Zebcos is going to be better than this one from the 2020 version, because they're a lot faster, and look how smooth that is. A lot smoother. But the only downside with the base model of Zebcos, the small hole is its only Achilles heel in the frame of the reel. Small hole, I've had a few issues with the small hole when you're casting it. It'll actually, the line will twist out, and then you'll have to pull more line out and then cut line. It's a pain in the butt. Now, the KastKing got it right. It's just like the older generations of Zebcos. It has a bigger hole. What that bigger hole does is it makes it easier to reel the line in and cast it out with a lot less issue about line twist. Now, I've had issue with line twist on the newer versions of the Zebco because they have a small hole. It's overall in all, it's not a bad reel. Like I said, maintenancing though, from a maintenancing standpoint, it's a nightmare compared to the Zebco 33s. Very easy to maintenance, take it apart and maintenance it. The Zebco gets over on that one. But where this reel really shines is that it has a 160 yard spool that you can put 160 yards of 10-pound test on it. With this reel, you're only going to get 125, I think. That's what it says on the Zebco forum. And this one here is 125 as well. So you're not going to get as much line with the Zebcos as you are going to get with the KastKing. I see a lot of people using braided line with the KastKing. It does have steel pickup pins, but it's only designed for monofilament. And you know, if you're going to use braid on this, long-term exposure to braid will ruin the spinner cone on this reel. I don't care what reel you got, you know, it's going to ruin it. Now we're going to open this up and I'm going to show you the spool on this reel. It's really done well. I think it's done a lot well than the Zebco spools. They took their time and chromed the spool, which will keep this reel from being getting corroded from saltwater fishing or whatever. And that's where I think this reel would really shine with 10-pound test or fluorocarbon or monofilament. Is basically what this reel is designed for. If you don't like the 10-pound test, you could always go with 12 and 14. You're not going to get as much yardage of line with it if you do that way. The spool's done really well. It's been chromed, which will help it. It'll keep it from corroding a lot worse than a non-chromed spinner head. Like I said, the spinner head on this is very reminiscent to the last gen Zebco 33. Like I said, you can see the steel pickup pins. Like I said, it's got 5-in-1 ball bearings, which gives it 6 ball bearings, which is a little bit more than the Zebco 33 Platinum. It's not a bad reel. I think it's really well made, but there's a few things about this reel I do not like. But overall, it's a better caster than the Zebco 33. It reels the line in okay, about even with the Zebco 33, but it casts a little bit better, has a little bit more spool. It has more yardage on the spool line. It does have a metal spool, which is great. It's not plastic. It won't break over time or wear out. It has 6 ball bearings, which is great. It has a 2 clutch system instead of a 1 clutch system like the 33 Platinum has. But overall, it's not a bad reel. It's a good entry level reel. And I have one more issue about this reel over the Zebco 33. When you place it on a rod, this reel is a lot more bulky, and you have to grab the rod like this, and it tires my hands out a lot more holding this reel, trying to hold it like this when you're fishing over the Zebco. Now the Zebco has a nice, a really low profile frame to the foot, like you see right here with the Zebco. It has a better lower profile to the foot to the frame ratio. This one's sticking out, and the reel is a lot bulkier, and it's not as heavy as the Zebco 33 Platinum, but the Zebco 33 Platinum really feels good in your hand when you're casting it. But it's not a bad entry-level reel. I think it's a really good reel, but is it better than the reel that I'm going to compare it to next? Not too bad. I mean, the button's good. It's positive. It really works really well. I've used it for 2 years. I've had 0 issue with it, so, not too bad, but, I mean, like I said, I have a few quirks with the reel I don't like, but where I think the Zebco Platinum is better of a reel. Now, you're only going to get 125 yards of 10-pound test with this reel. You're not going to be able to use braid on either of these reels, because if you do, you're going to ruin them. And basically, the customer service on both of these reels, it was really well. When I went to register both of these reels, they were very helpful on both sides. And I can see when you're looking for parts for these reels, it's going to be, the customer service is really going to help you out because they want to stand by their products. And both customer services were great when I went to register both of these reels. Now, where I think the Zebco has a slight advantage over the KastKing with less issues is that it has an all-steel body. The Zebco 33 Platinum, this is the 2020 version. It's 4:7 gear ratio. It's a lot faster and smoother of a reel than the KastKing. It's way faster. I mean, it sounds like a V6. You know what I'm saying? The handle crank on the Zebco 33 is a lot better. The oversized knobs, when you're using it, doesn't feel like it's going to fall out of my hand. And it has like a crisscross texture. The handle on the KastKing is I'm not a fan of it. It doesn't have any ball bearings in the handle on this one, but it does have 5 internal ball bearings in this one. It does have 1 ball bearing as the choke, as the clutch, and 1 shielded ball bearing on the pickup pin. And it has 2 ball bearings on the wheel gear here, on the main wheel gear here, and 1 on top underneath the spinner cone, which gives you 4-to-1 ball bearings, stainless steel ball bearings. And it's a little bit heavier than the KastKing, but although it's heavy, the low profile of this reel makes it very comfortable to use with a rod. And for one, the pickup pin and the spinner cone are pretty even when it comes to, reeling the line in and being, durability. This reel is going to last you a lot longer because it's got a steel body. It does have a brass main gear on the pinion gear and a steel pot metal wheel gear, where this one's all steel bearings, gears as well. But that plastic body on the KastKing is going to wear out quicker than the all steel body on this Zebco 33 Platinum. This one's going to last you years and years and years and years and years. Could be even considered a forever reel over this one. Price is about this. It's pretty similar when it comes to price. The Zebco is going to be $32. The KastKing is going to run about $34, $35 plus tax and shipping. You're probably about $40. Where you could buy this at any big box store, and that's a significant advantage over the Zebco, over the KastKing. The availability of it, you can go to basically any sporting goods store in America and buy this reel anywhere. This one here, you have to order it online from Amazon or eBay, or just basically online. There is no mass-produced market for this, but online and word of mouth, and it's a great reel. I'm not gonna lie. KastKing did a really good job on the Brutus, but I don't think it's as good as the Zebco 33 Platinum. The Platinum is a slight heavier, and it doesn't cast as good as the KastKing, but it casts and it does retrieve a lot faster. And when it comes to top water fishing, with top water baits, this reel is a lot better than the KastKing reel. I like the button is a lot oversized than this one here. You know, it just works a lot better. Maintenance, now when it comes to maintaining both reels, the Zebco is a lot better. It's a lot easier to maintenance this reel over this reel. There's a lot more moving parts on the KastKing than there is the Zebco 33. So maintaining, the Zebco wins on that one. The KastKing wins line capacity, and line capacity is kind of king, especially if you're saltwater fishing. You need that extra line capacity if the fish runs your spool down, so you could quickly reel that spool line back up in there, so you could re-spool your line so you don't lose a fish. Line capacity is not all that great with the Zebco 33. You only get 125 yards of line, but it's more of an improvement than the last generation of Zebcos that they made. Last generation of Zebcos only could have 99 yards of line on it. So the KastKing wins on that. Parts availability as well. Now, as you further go into time, these type of reels here, because of the fact that you have to order them online, not many people are either going to know about them or are going to own them, and there's not going to be like a surplus market of these going around in pawn shops and flea markets. So basically, parts availability is only at their website, so you're going to only be able to find parts for this reel at their website, or basically on their website. So you're going to be able to get parts for that on its website. As we keep going further in time with the 2020 version of the Platinum, parts availability is going to be huge. You're going to find a lot of these on eBay for cheap. You know, broken reels to fix your broken reel. You know, you want to take something off an old reel to cannibalize it if you want to do that. And the Zebco website's very helpful too. You can order parts from there if you need them to fix this reel, or send it in while it's under warranty. And the parts market's going to be huge for this reel, and that's where this reel is going to excel over the KastKing, because basically anybody that owns this reel can buy it from a big box store. They get sick of it, they can take it to a pawn shop or sell it at a pawn shop and get $10 for it. It's a broken reel. Somebody could buy that reel for $5 to fix a reel. So the parts market on this is going to be way better, and it's going to be a huge venue for parts for this reel over this reel. That's one of the significant advantages that the Zebco will have over the KastKing in parts, so you can fix your reel. And availability of these reels once they break, you know, if they're not brand new and they're broken, you could buy them secondhand off of any website to fix this reel if they discontinue this model. So there's going to be a huge market of parts for this reel. Not so much this reel. I mean, this reel is not mainstream. Basically, it's only like word of mouth of people like people on YouTube talking about the Brutus, or professional fishermen, you know, being sponsored to promote these as being the best reel on the market. It's not. I've used it for 2 years. There's a lot of quirks about this reel I don't like, and there's a lot of things about it I do like. But I think overall, for longevity, parts, and availability and ease of use of this reel, and it's basically, you could buy it anywhere. It gets a lot of high marks. I think the Zebco 33 Platinum is the best reel that Zebco makes, besides the Omega. The Omega is a great reel, but it's not really effective for bass fishing because it has a low gear ratio of 2:8 to 1. This one is its highest gear ratio reel that they sell, which is 4:7 to 1. So this is going to be your better bass fishing reel. crappie fishing reel, pan fishing reel, chain pickerel, pike, some saltwater species as well. Kind of reel for fast moving topwater baits, chatter baits. You could use it. Now it doesn't have that fast gear ratio as a bait caster, like a 5.2 to 1 or 6.4 to 1 or 7 gear ratio reel, but it does work. In wintertime, these reels are very valuable for me, honestly, because I can wear gloves and use this reel and cast it all day long and reel fishing all day. Where a bait caster and a spin casting reel, you have to use bare hands to use it in the winter. It's not a fan of that. So overall, I think the Zebco 33 Platinum is going to be your better reel for maintenancing, availability of parts. Eventually down the road, it's going to be a huge market for that over the KastKing. All steel body. It's going to be a lot more durable than the KastKing down the road. The KastKing eventually will probably wear out. The foot will wear out, and something will break on the body, which is plastic, over the metal. Body of the Zebco 33 Platinum. I say if you're going to get your first time, if you're going to be buying a spin cast reel for the first time, I'd say I would recommend you to buy the Zebco 33 Platinum over the Zebco 33 Authentic, and it's going to be a lot better of a reel than the KastKing in speed, durability, and price. This one is cheaper than this one. By the time you get this one, all said and done, is about 40 bucks MSR with shipping including. This one at any big box store is cheaper, and it's a lot better of a reel for $32. You're getting, well, you're not getting as much line capacity as you are with this one, but what you're getting is a good solid steel reel that's going to last you light years longer than the KastKing. And I'm not taking anything away. If I was to tell you the two best bass fishing spin casting reels on the market, would be the KastKing as number 2 and the Zebco 33 Platinum as being number 1. Now, like I said, the small hole on this is an issue that I have with this reel. On the front right here, when you cast it, it doesn't cast as good as the KastKing, because sometimes the line, when it comes out, it will twist out and get knotted, and that's an issue that I have with this reel that I don't have with this reel in line capacity. The only two difference between these reels is this one has better line capacity and this one has better internal gears and body, which will last you a lot longer than this one. And overall, that's why I say the Zebco 33 Platinum is way better of a reel than the KastKing BRUTUS 30. And plus that, it has a higher gear ratio too, which makes it a lot better for using topwater baits than the BRUTUS. The BRUTUS is good for plastic baits like Texas rigs, Carolina rigs, something slow moving and rolling that you have to roll off the bottom. Texas rigs, Carolina rigs, sabiki rigs, shit like that. You know, that doesn't need a lot of speed, and it's okay for topwater as well. It works, but the Zebco 33 Platinum is a lot faster, and it zings topwater lures like crazy on top. Does work. It works a lot better with chatterbaits than this one does. This one works better with crankbaits, creature baits, walking baits, better than the BRUTUS does. But overall, they're both, to me, would be the two best reels on the market right now. The Zebco 33 being the best, the Zebco 33 Platinum being the best, and a close second would be my favorite would be the BRUTUS. The reason why I didn't put the Omega in here is I do own the Omega, the Zebco Omega. It has a lower gear ratio, and it's an overly complicated reel compared to these two. These are very simple reels to maintenance, and they have a higher gear ratio than the Zebco Omega. The only thing about the Zebco Omega, it has an oscillating spool, which puts the line on it evenly, but it only puts on 99 yards of line. So these reels here, the newer version of the Zebco 33 Platinum, can get more 10-pound test. You get more bang for your buck with this reel over the Authentic and the Omega series of reels, because it has an all-steel body just like the Omega, but you got more line capacity and more speed than the Omega, which makes it a lot better reel for bass fishing, or smallmouth bass fishing, or crappie fishing, or fishing for catfish. You know, the only downside about these two over this one is it doesn't have a bait runner. I could live without that if I'm just using these for lure fishing. It's good for that. You don't need an anti-reverse for that. This is good for catfishing. It's good for bait fishing because of the anti-reverse. And actually, this one here has 4 shielded steel XL ball bearings in it. I actually super tuned this reel, so it does have ball bearing, more than one ball bearing in it instead of the crappy plastic bushings. So that one is super tuned, and these can be super tuned. But even this lowly old Zebco Authentic 2020 reel is faster than this one, so, and smoother too. But this one does work a lot better than this one overall. I think it's a lot better than your baseline Zebco 33 Authentic. They do make, KastKing does make another reel, which is called the Cadet, which might be a good direct competitor to the Authentic, but I think the Zebco 33 Authentic is better than the Cadet, because the Cadet has a 3:6 gear ratio. This one is 4:1 gear ratio. So Zebco again beats KastKing with their Cadet series of reels. I think this is going to be a lot better than your Cadet series of reels because it has a bait runner. So, and that's just their base, like, budget line of reels from Zebco. This is their more expensive version of it with a steel body. It's going to be better than the KastKing Brutus by a mile. Now, the KastKing Brutus 30 is good because it does have more line spool. That's it. That's it. That's all it has going for it. Other than that, it is a good reel. I think these would be your 2 best first-time spin casting reels. If you're wanting to get into a really good spin casting reel, I'd recommend you to get the 33 Platinum over the Brutus, because you can find this at any store over the Brutus, so you have to order online. You're going to be spending more money on something that is not as good as the Platinum. So both of them are good for what they are, but there's a lot of quirks about this reel I do not like the cover, that stupid plastic, and this honeycomb design. They should have kept it solid. The handle is not all that great. I don't like the handle knobs on there is not all that great. The drag system in it's really good, straight line drag. Interlocking disc drag's good. The stupid ambidextrous screw is easy to access, but over time, by screwing it in tight all the time, it will break this little plastic. Unlike the Zebco screw is all steel and will never break on you. That is the only Achilles heel that this reel has, plus that the graphite body will wear out over time compared to the Zebco 33 Platinum. So do the math. You want durability over something that's not going to last you as long. I want something that's going to last me 20, 30 years. And this is going to last you maybe a few years. If that, with hard use, you might get 10, 15 years out of it, if you're lucky. But I would recommend, if you buy any of these 2 reels, is buy an extra spinner cone. Which is, the spinner cone is this this piece right here. Now, this one here has a satin finish on the spinner cone. This is the reason why I think the spinner cone on this one's a lot better than the Zebco, is that this one's more prone to rust and getting dirty because it has a sandblasted spinner cone over the chrome spinner cone on the KastKing. KastKing got it right with the spinner cone on that one for sure. It has a way better spinner cone than the Zebco 33 does, but they both have 2 pickup pins. It's an eerily similar reel. They both have a straight line drag, interlocking disc drag right here. They're very eerily similar in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways they're not. One's better than the other. But if I was to recommend you one reel on this table, would be the Zebco 33 Platinum over the KastKing. It's a way better performer in speed. But the KastKing itself is a great casting reel. It casts way better. But comfort of use, this reel's better. This one's really bulky and it hurts your hand trying to hold it on a rod. And maybe they could fix that. Maybe bring the foot down a little bit more on this reel and fix this stupid spinner cone. I do not like the cover on this reel. It's really sharp, and then when you're using it, you're trying to take it apart. It really hurts your hand. I really don't like the cover on that. If they would have stuck with a solid cover on that, you know, that would have been a lot better to me, honestly. Like, it's basically, it would be like this cover, like, it doesn't have all those holes in it. It doesn't have that issue. It does have a hole at the bottom here to leak the water out. This one, I do not think it has that, so it don't have that with this reel. Like I said, it's easier to maintenance this reel over that one, but you know, that's just my opinion on the reels. I think the Zebco 33 is going to be a better buy over the KastKing Brutus. Both reels are great. I mean, if you're not in the market for a Zebco 33 Platinum and you just want to buy this to have it for shits and giggles, then buy it. It's a good reel. Both reels are good buys. I would consider this my second. I think this is the second best performing Spincast reel I've ever used. Was the KastKing Brutus. Probably one of the best. I think even better than a lot of the Daiwas, silvers, and gold series of reels out on the market, and including some of the Shakespeare reels. This is far better than those, but it's not as good as the Zebco 33 Platinum. Well, folks, if you like this video on two of the best bass fishing spin casting reels on the market, or just overall utilitarian spin casting reels on the market, if you like my overall opinion on these two, tell me what you think about it. But my overall opinion is that the new 2020 Zebco 33 is a far better reel than the KastKing Brutus 30. I have had this reel for 2 years. I've used it and caught a lot of fish on it, pike. I caught a few bass, smallmouth, trout, and it is an excellent reel. And I think KastKing did a really good job on their first attempt of a spin casting reel. It's a really fantastic reel for what you get for $34 plus MSR, about 38-40 bucks, but cheaper reel that you could basically buy at any store. The Zebco 33 Platinum is a lot better of a reel overall for durability. Hands down, goes to the 33 Platinum. If you like this video, please hit the like, share, and subscribe, and tell me what you think. This has been your old pal Hondo from Hillbilly Tactical on two of the best spin cast reels on the market. And tell me what you think and your experiences with the two are. And you know what you can do? You put God first. He puts you first every time. You know what else, YouTube? God loves you. So does Hondo. Peace out, YouTube.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even